So I'm seeing this as a tower moment. He's holding a sword, so this tells me that the tower moment is going to come from, this gives me, because he has wings, this gives me flying too close to the sun. So this might be like checking your ego, checking your pride, checking your arrogance. I forget the name of the story, but when they escape by making wings, and then the son of the father actually gets too close to the sun, and he actually falls to his death because of his pride or arrogance that he can trying to get higher than what is advised from his father. The fall from escaping something, and then you actually, it's about staying humble even in the pride or arrogance of being able to escape and persevere with the materials that you have in escaping situations. But also, because he's holding a sword, this tells me that there's going to be an idea that completely befalls the foundation that you have created. It's about like having an enlightening moment or an idea. Swords is about information, so the fact he's holding a sword and he's wearing a crown, which is about your crown chakra, which is about like information that we receive. So you're going to receive some information that's going to make you realize foundation you have created there is faulty, it's weak. And when we create, or it's like creating a business or an empire, and when your foundation is weak, then it doesn't matter how high or how big you're able to build it on that foundation, because if the foundation is weak, that structure isn't going to withstand the storms in the years to come. And you can see that when buildings are, and architecturally, when buildings are created, if they can withstand natural causes of the storm, lightning, rain, then the work you put in from the foundation, you will see it either blossom or perish, depending on the foundations that you have placed. So it's not about, a tower moment is about realizing like the foundations are one of the biggest parts, and we often want to rush into building the details of our creations or projects, getting to the end point of it, of being successful. But we have to remember that it is the foundations that we have to look at. And if our foundations are weak, no matter how intricate or beautiful or inspiring or visionary your business is, if your foundations are weak, then the storm or any natural causes can completely plummet that business to its death. So you have to look at like building your foundations to withstand natural causes. Nine of Wands is about basically persevering. You can see that he has a dog, and dogs in tarot are often associated with family, loyalty, a companion, protection. So this is about persevering and setting boundaries. This is keeping loyal to yourself. Because in traditional tarot, in the Rider-Waite tarot, the Nine of Wands is associated with like creating boundaries, and it is about like a wounded individual. So often it's associated with like someone who has wounded, who's gone through their trials and errors, but who has persevered in those trials, and they're still standing, but they're still creating like that wall potentially from their trial. So like they're wounded, and so it's like the wand he's holding is actually bigger than the wands behind him, which are creating a wall. It can also be because it looks like the wands behind him are like blocking a pathway. So this can be like redirection is divinely guided. You are divinely protected in the sense that you have a companion who is loyal, and as dogs are often associated with protectors, as the Fool has a white dog, so it's like a pure white is connected with like pure light, because you can see a pathway, but the wands are, so he's like looking upward. So it's like, I'm getting like redirection is divinely guided for you. Persevering, even when you have fallen. And the fact he's looking up is telling me again, like lightning comes from, like this is a divine like intervention of something that isn't working anymore. He's looking upwards to the heavens. Often I like connecting cards to receive a message. The fact that these cards, he's falling from a tower and then he's looking upwards, so there's a connection of looking at what has failed is actual divine intervention to guiding you to redirection in your life. You're paying more attention to the spilled cups, what isn't working, than you are to the 2 cups that are filled behind you. So this is like missed opportunities because you're paying more attention to the spilled. And actually in this deck, he's actually spilling the cups intentionally, so it's almost like self-sabotage, actually pouring out the cups that you have in this fall from heaven. And it's also giving me like the fall of Lucifer. So here we have a vessel, and I don't know if in this deck this is a Ace of Cups, but this is also giving me like alchemy with the thing behind it at the bottom. Symbolism of the sun is associated what brightens us, what excites us, and tapping into the sun's source of joy. But the fact it is contained in a cathedral. Okay, so we have a 3 of Swords, and Sagittarius also got a 3 of Swords. This is filling up your own cup. I'll have to look at how this card itself is interpreted in this deck, but 3 of Swords is often associated with like something heartbreaking that happens, and it is very emotional. It puts us in a state through swords are about information, so it puts us in a state of emotional turmoil from information we receive. But you are coming up from the dead, because he's coming up from the ground. So this is telling me that this heartbreak is actually you're persevering through a lot of pain, because the fact like a tower moment is occurring and you have to persevere, and there is the sense of like a fountain refilling itself, or it's an Ace of Cups, a vessel of joy and excitement, and tapping into and alchemizing your pain in order to persevere in your situation. This deck, there are Ace of Cups and Ace of Vessels. So the Ace of Vessels is connected to alchemy, because the container is connected to the smaller one by a tube resembling an alchemical alembic. So in alchemy, the hermetic vase is one of the most important items for the transformation of the elements. Being sealed, it symbolizes an internal transformation that transcends any physical change. For that reason, we consider that the vessels are no more than a depiction of ourselves, as if we are the living jug in which all transformations take place. The dark reddish liquid that pours through the alembic signals that a cleaning is occurring, letting a splendorous sun to rise as a result. The red color is an indicator that the great alchemical opera is achieving an important stage. The rising sun is a symbol of a major understanding of our inner selves. It's too a resplendent sign of a spiritual awakening rising from the interior of ourselves. On top, the words encourage us to search for the nature of the 4 elements and their properties. The message of this card is clear. This is a call to learn about our inner selves and renew our elements. Harmony, our earth, water, air, and fire must be truly understood and balanced, allowing the spiritual golden sun to rise. This is about major intuition and enlightenment, which may come through a fall and a kind of persevering boundary work, protection of yourself. But this Ace of Vessels shows that it's a good time to improve your intuition based on your internal balance of all, as I already stated, of all the alchemical energies combined. With this, you will be able to connect to your inner self and discover the light of your inner God. When the Ace of Vessel appears for you, Leo, It says that you have a gift in you ready to be unlocked. Like the vessel that is sealed to the world, you too need to preserve your light. And so that perfectly goes with the 9 of Wands, preserving your energy, preserving yourself, and alchemizing that energy in all the elements. Even though you are the element of fire, Leo, this is about we have all the elements within us to work with all the elements and tools. The Ace of Vessels and the 3 of Swords is that this is about alchemizing your pain and suffering in order to elevate, in order to for that enlightenment.